Okay, so this is sort of our last step with the menu GeoFund program. So what I need to, I've gone over to idle here because as much fun as it is to constantly run things through the visualizer, at some point we will be running things at least from the prompt. And you got to imagine, I mean, if you want to get serious with this stuff, you are going to at some point, especially when it comes to file manipulations and things like that, we are going to be wanting to run them at least from the prompt. So we're going to be interacting with the operating system with this, and that can be pretty darn challenging in some languages. Thankfully, this language allows us to have modules that deal with the operating system. And one of those modules is OS. So if I import the OS module, you might be thinking, well, what the heck is the OS module all about? Well, I think, let's see right here, let's just do a search. If you don't know, do a search, Python OS module. Python OS module, we go clicking in here and you'll see it's a bunch of stuff that has to do with the operating system. Now we're going to be spending time here trying to basically say, trying to run our programs, right? Now, and the program we're going to be trying to run is the one I just created, the getFund one, which let me just show you where that is. That's over here. All right, so what I want to do is I want to basically run that module, get GeoFund, and GeoFund is actually, I'm trying hard not to. Yeah, I don't want idle to know about it yet. Okay, but let's for now just leave it. Okay, so that's the module we want to get to. Now, the thing is, where is this guy pointing? If I was actually trying to say, hey, get me the getFund module, where's it pointing? Well, you can kind of tell if you just go File, Open, it's pointing here, which is the default Python directory. That is not where my program is. My program is sitting in a directory just off my desktop, right there. That's where the program is. It's sitting in here. So how would I know that if I didn't just go click File, Open? Well, thankfully, there's an operating system module, get current working directory method. And that basically says this is where it's pointing. And actually, if I want to go one step further, if I said, well, what's actually in there, list dir, standing for directory, these are the programs that are currently in it. So I could run, you know, the temp PI if I wanted to. I could run X, I could run Y, but my getFund, or not getFund, GeoFund program isn't there. I need to change my directory. Now, I'll let you Google that basically and look at that, but here's the syntax I would use. Right there, copied and pasted. So notice that up here, there are 2 slashes, there are 2 slashes, there are 2 slashes. I don't really want to waste too much time at this point trying to explain that. If you wanted to, you could look up escape character and kind of see a little bit more to that. Or for now, just imagine that if you're on Windows, whenever you're dealing with a single slash, which you typically are when you're trying to list off your directory path, like for example over here, right? You'll notice those are all single slashes. Basically, just go through the pain of putting making them all double slashes, and you'll be fine. I hate to give you some Mickey Mouse magic commands there, but it does make sense the more you understand. But I don't want to spend that energy on this. For now, just basically double up on your double slashes. So now if I was to say, hey, what's currently in there? Let's list the files in my directory. They're different, and there's the one I want, geofund.py. And here's the cool part. Just like up here, I taught my environment how to basically get the current working directory, list the directory, and change the directory. With the import, I can also import my actual module, import GeoFund, leaving off the PI. At this point, I have taught my taught my environment everything that GeoFund knows how to do. I think I've showed you this already, but there is a beautiful function that basically says, show me every method in memory. And this was it. And so notice that right now, dir, you will at some point understand what these mean, but for now, notice it's got geofund in it. That's kind of cool. Now, geofund had a main method in it. And so if I type geofund.main now, bang, it's now running the program that's effectively loaded in memory. The entire module is loaded in memory. And the main program, let's actually get it up so we can see what it looks like on the screen. FOP and here, and there it is, right click and edit. So now I think you can trust me that I can show this now without tainting it. I mean, basically this environment, I was able to get it to run this module. But when I went main, it went ahead, it basically set that to true. It now did the print menu, and now it's basically sitting down here at the string choice. That's where this thing is. So if I want to basically type 1, I hit enter. What's the radius? I go 2. That's my thing. Now I want to basically calculate the area. So I'll put that in. I also put in 2. That's the number that we remember. Now I didn't code. I still haven't coded for anything that's not 1, 2, or 0. So if I basically put in 3, it's going to say, whoa, it's an invalid option. I'm going to put in 0, and that's my way out, and that's my way out. So the module is kind of there, and I can run it again if I want. I can do geofund and run it again, except I got to type in the right thing. Geofund.main and run it again. So that's kind of cool. The other thing, by the way, that's kind of interesting, by loading that module in there, is that I now have the ability, if I wanted to, I could call that on its own. I could call that on its own. Let's see, can I do this? Just move it over? Well, whatever. Oh, come on, man, help me out. Okay, let's move you over like that, and then take this guy. Okay, good. So now what I could do is I could call get circumference on its own here. I could basically say, print me the geofund dot get circumference, and I'm going to pass in 2, and that's the end of that. That's the end of that. Boom. I have access not just to the main, but I can call submodules too. In fact, I can impress my friends by executing geofund.print menu. Call that on its own. So these methods, these functions, I should say, were all loaded into memory. Now the only thing, actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that for now. So the main is the one-way in. I've imported it. When I did my import, I basically imported this guy, and then I kind of went into the main function to actually run my program. And I'm also now able to grab and run bits of my program on its own. I was only able to do that by bringing in the operating system library and then changing the directory to point to where that program is. And I'll remind you, I had to go and use double slashes so it would actually point. Definitely get comfortable with that, right? Get comfortable with that idea, all right? I guess the only other thing I'll show you too is that in previous versions, I had actually hard-coded Pi. Here again, and this is what they did in the textbook too, I brought in the library that has math in it, and math has not just methods, but an actual variables here where they have defined what pi actually is. So down here, I don't think I can actually print it right away. Let's go math.pi. Can I do that? No, I can't do that. So I have to go import math, and then if I go math.pi, there's pi. And what are the other things that the math module can do? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's go back over to here and use our friend Google for this Python math module. You'll notice I keep using the word module and library interchangeably. That's because in different languages, they're called different things, right? But you got to imagine a library is a bunch of related methods and variables. In the language I was most comfortable with, they were actually called packages. in Python, this very same thing are called modules. So the more you work in industry, the more screwed in the head you get. But anyway, right there, if I do a search on Pi, of course, it's going to get like 1,000 of these things. That's, well, I'm not going to bother looking for pi, but here's like something that brings something x to the power of y. Here's something that will do the square root. Here's some trigonomic functions. They're constants. Yeah, so there's pi, there's e. I don't know what some of these other constants are. So definitely, before you go writing a bunch of stuff, you might want to see, is there a module out there that actually does this kind of stuff for you? So that is kind of cool. All right, so I think with that, we are going to be done with that part of the textbook. We aren't done with the topic though, because I'm going to show us now a little bit about how to do this with some of the programs that we've already been working with.